Hey everybody. So I got a question from somebody about Linchpin Test 5, which we just had programmed yesterday, and it's a beast of a test. So if you're unfamiliar with it, we used to have 12 tests at Linchpin. Now we've got 13. So I don't really call them the Dirty Dozen anymore. They're just the Linchpin tests. And we may add more in the future. I have a couple more actually rolling around in my head that might get added to it. But test 5 was programmed yesterday. If you're unfamiliar with it, Linchpin Test 5 is 4 time 20 back squats at 225 pounds for the men, 155 for women, then a 2-mile run, and then another set of 20 back squats. 225 pounds for the men, 155 pounds for the women. And so when I created the tests, they were just that. They were a broad series of tests that athletes could use as an assessment if they so desired. And they covered a very wide range of time domains from very short to long, loadings from very light to moderate to heavy, to body weight movements, to lower skill movements, to high skill movements, small chunks of reps, big chunks of reps. And so over the course of all the different tests, it would give you a really good idea of maybe areas of strength, areas of weakness, where you might need to improve, and all that good stuff. And when they work into the programming on any particular day, then I'll go ahead and throw them in. So as it worked out, yesterday, we needed what I would call a heavy day at a high heart rate, and that's precisely what Linchpin Test 5 is. And we needed it with a back squat with below parallel, and so Test 5 got programmed. So here's the deal. I think some people put pressure on themselves when it's something like a test or a named workout. There's this incredible desire to have to do it prescribed, and I don't think people maybe scale as frequently as they should, especially on something that has a name or a test, for example. So the question that I got from somebody, Craig basically had some very kind things to say about the Linchpin private track, so I appreciate that, Craig. And then he says here, question stems from today's workout, Linchpin Test 5. So he used a 1 rep max calculator, which you have access to that also on your Beyond the Whiteboard app. And he basically looked at it and said, okay, 20 back squats at 225 pounds. What's the 1 rep max that I would need in order to be able to do 20 back squats at 225 pounds? And that 1 rep max calculator kicked it out to you would need a 1 rep max of 375 pounds. So he's like, I'm not there yet. He weighs 165 pounds. And he's got in his own words, a decent back squat of 285 pounds. But he says 225 for 20 reps seems far out of my reach. Not sure if I'll ever be able to get there. His goal eventually is a 2 times body weight back squat, which would be a 1 rep max of 330 pounds. But then he says, what's the deal? Even if I achieve what's a tremendous accomplishment of a 2 times body weight back squat, and that would put Craig at a 330 pound back squat, he's still far short of what that 1 rep max calculator said you would need to do 20 reps at 225 pounds. Remember that 1 rep max calculator said the 1 rep should be 375. So even at a 2 times bodyweight back squat, his question was basically, will I ever be able to do this workout prescribed? Maybe yes, maybe no. I'm sorry for the wishy-washy answer. But here's the deal with that. And he was curious as to, are these Linchpin tests indicative of what a quote-unquote very fit individual would be able to do? So there's a lot in there. First of all, each athlete is a little bit different. And what I mean by that is you have some people who have a very high 1 rep max, and that's fantastic. But you've got some other people whose 1 rep max is lower, but they can squat a relatively high percentage of their 1 rep max for a decent volume of squats, for example, or whatever movement you happen to be. And I would say that a tremendous amount of the people who did Linchpin Test 5 yesterday and did it prescribed didn't have a 375-pound back squat, that it would be somewhere below that. So even though the 1 rep max calculator is wonderful and useful, it's not the end-all be-all. A bigger question in deciding whether or not you should do this workout prescribed or scaled is your capability as an athlete. Can you safely move the loading, 225, for what will be by the end of the workout, 40 repetitions, and how long would it take you to do that? So for example, when I did this workout yesterday, right from the get-go, no need to be a hero, not looking to blow myself up. Even that very first set of 20 back squats, I did as 4 sets of 5. And I racked the bar, looked at the clock, make sure I rested at least 30 seconds before I got under the barbell for another set of 5. And that's how I did the first set, and that's how I did the last set. I could have tried to push for maybe a 10, a 5, and a 5, or if I want to be a hero, maybe a 15 and a 5. But I knew what my legs would feel like today if I did that, and I did not have any desire at that time to have my legs feel like that today. And so I intentionally broke that up, and I didn't get back under the bar until that 30-second window had ended, and I knew that I felt good enough to safely execute another set of 5. And that was just 30 seconds for me. If somebody else, that's 20 seconds, fantastic. If it's a minute, who cares? Rest the time that you need to rest if your goal is to do the workout prescribed and it's going to take you a bit longer than the goal times. That's fine, as long as you can safely execute the workout. Because let's say, for example, in somebody like Craig's case, at 165 pounds, maybe their back squat is the limiting factor on this workout. They don't mind the 2-mile run in the middle. Of course, that terrifies a lot of CrossFitters. And so today is going to be a day that Craig's going to work on an area that he needs improvement on, the back squat. So you're going to get 40 back squats at a significant loading. Let's say the 225 was right for him. And if he did 4 sets of 5, and maybe he has to rest 90 seconds between each of those 4 sets of 5 to get the initial 20 total repetitions, oh well, at that pace, at resting 90 seconds between each set of 5, and then most likely having to do that at the end, that's going to put you probably outside one of the goal windows. Well, whoop-de-doo, okay? If that's just what he needs to do, because he's working on his back squat today, he can still get in a fantastic workout. It can still be a heavy day at a high heart rate, because then all he needs to do, when he finishes that initial set of 20, however he got there, 4 sets of 5, you've got a 2-mile run. Go ahead and pour your heart and soul into that 2-mile run with everything that you've got. You won't be shortchanged, right? Then get back and then make a smart decision again. If you did truly run your tail off, then when you get back to the squat rack, that's going to be an even heavier back squat based upon how your legs feel. So if you're not ready to safely move that bar, who cares? Walk around for a minute or two. Take whatever time you need until you can once again safely move the barbell for another 4 sets of 5 or 5 sets of 4, whatever it happens to be. So by the end of that day's training, the individual might have got in all the back squats, but he did it as 8 sets of 5. That's a good day of lifting. It's a great day of lifting. And then you get in a 2-mile run in the middle. Again, nobody's being shortchanged. We had, got a wide range of people in Linchpin, from people who love the barbell and hate the runs, and vice versa. We had some people do the first set of 20 back squats. Tanner, you're coming to my mind, as a matter of fact. Tanner did his first set of back squats, 20 back squats at 225, in 56 seconds. The dude's an animal. He's freakishly strong. He admittedly hated every single solitary step of the run. He's a bigger guy. And then, got back and crushed the second set. We had other athletes, struggle a bit with the barbell, get out on the run and do the run. And I think one of the fastest runs I heard of was like a 13:56 for the 2-mile run. Get back and do the other set of 20 back squats, and everything in between. So a very wide range of athletes could do the same workout, and each one could work on what they needed to work on. Tanner's super strong, loved every second under the barbell. Where he needs to be to become a better, more well-rounded athlete, is to get out there and do that 2-mile run. And even though he didn't enjoy it, went out there and did it. Got other athletes that are just endurance maniacs, struggle a bit more under the barbell. Well, they made good decisions, scaled if they needed to, but still kept it a very challenging loading for them, broke it up as much or as little as they needed to, and for them, it was a day that they improved their back squat. So it all can be done for sure. And here's what I think is interesting with a workout like this. So for example, 20 back squats at a prescribed loading, 2-mile run, another 20 back squats. The problem, if that's the right word to say, is that the back squats have both a number and a loading. 20 back squats at that loading. The 2-mile run, it's just a run. Okay? The pace is up to you. So since the pace is undetermined, it can be easy, I think, for a lot of people to look at that workout and they know they'll just cover the run. Whatever the pace happens to be, they'll just do it. Whether it's slow, moderate, whatever, they'll get through it. So because they don't have a definitive guide on that, but they do for the back squats. And so they'll judge themselves solely based on the back squat and not the run. But let's circle back to what Craig said initially. If you have the capacity, based upon this 1 rep max calculator, to do 20 back squats unbroken at 225 pounds, it estimates that you have a 1 rep max back squat of 375 pounds. So now we can reverse engineer that if that's what's stuck in people's head, because the back squat had a loading and a rep range. Well, what does a 375 pound back squat look like? If we go to Beyond the Whiteboard and search their data and type in 1 rep max back squat, which I did for you, and we have the percentiles, a 375 pound back squat, 1 rep max, would put you in about the 85th percentile. If you're unfamiliar with that means you're at like 85 out of 100. If there's 100 levels, you're like level 85. So there's only 15% better than you. So that's a tremendously high level. That's what a 375 pound back squat looks like. People judge themselves by that. If we're going to keep the same line of action, right? If you're expecting yourself to be in the 85th percentile on the back squat, well, what's the 85th percentile for a 2-mile run? That's the figure most people don't want to look at. So I went ahead and checked that out. If you were in the 85th percentile on a 2-mile run, that would mean you would do the 2-mile run in about 13 minutes and 30 seconds. So what's that? It's 2 sub 7 miles. Is it 2 6:45s, I want to say? So if we're doing an apples to apples comparison, if you're going to be as strict about yourself with your barbell strength, will be as strict about yourself with your running capacity as well. So if you want to have that 375 pound 1 rep max, and that's what you think you need to do the 20 reps of 225, well, when you get out there in the run, you better be putting up about a 13-minute and 30-second 2-mile. But I don't think people do that to themselves. They only judge their fitness based upon where they do or don't fall with the barbell. And the other stuff is just, I'll jog the 2-mile run, and when it's over, and then I'll once again judge myself on how the back squats go. The run is just this thing that happens in the middle, so when I get back to the barbell, I feel good enough to squat again. And I'm not, by the way, Craig, if you're listening to this, I'm not saying that's how you are conducting yourself in your head, because, we didn't have that conversation, but I think this occurs with folks. So just like nobody would be that hard on themselves of just saying, you know what, 2-mile run's tough for me. I can do it. I can safely do it, but I'll have to slow down a little bit. But hey, I need to work on my running, so that's okay. I'll get out there and I'll do the 2-mile run. Same thing with the back squats. That first set of 20, that second set of 20. If it's a loading that you can safely squat with proper and sound mechanics, but maybe you have to break it up a bit, maybe you have to take a bit of rest, that's okay, because that's the same mindset that you're taking with a 2-mile run. Anyway, be safe, work on what you need to work on. Now, of course, I would say as a general rule, even regardless of what your 1 rep max back squat is, if you think you could get through that initial first set of 20 back squats in, 2 sets of 10, a 10, a 5, and a 5, or like I did, 4 sets of 5 with some shorter rest periods, I don't see anything wrong with that in any way, shape, or form. And now, I will also say this because I mentioned the fitness level. So if you're unfamiliar with what that actually means, like when I looked at the 1 rep max back squat or the 2 mile time trial and it had those percentages, like I said, those are about 85th percentile. On your Beyond the Whiteboard app, okay, once you open the home screen, in the upper right hand corner, there will be something that says fitness level. And it'll have a number and some sort of an animal that corresponds with how ferocious your number is. Tap on that, okay? Tap on the thing that says fitness level, and it'll take you to that screen. And the fitness level, you'll get some number assigned to you. It's from 0 to 100, basically, okay? I've never seen a 0, I've never seen 100, but 0 to 100. What that is a metric of your fitness based upon 8 different categories that Beyond the Whiteboard has created. It's got power lifts, Olympic lifts, speed and endurance, then body weight workouts, heavy workouts, light workouts, and long workouts. And you submit scores for each of those, and you unlock them, and once you unlock all 8 different categories, you get your fitness level bestowed upon you. Here's an interesting point for everyone on the Beyond the Whiteboard app who's looking at that. It can be easy to be hard on yourself, so don't do that. So for example, maybe you're looking at your fitness level and it says 40, okay? 40 or 50. And you're like, what? 40 or 50? Like, this is a scale to 100. That's like an F. I'm getting an F. My fitness level is an F. That's not the case, okay? That can be misleading. That fitness level, you're not comparing yourself to just the broad general population walking around at Six Flags or something like that. That is where you rank and fall based upon all the individuals logging scores and data on the Beyond the Whiteboard app. So you are in, by its very nature of that community, a unique cohort of people who take their fitness extremely seriously and are pursuing functional movements with intensity and are not the normal population walking around planet Earth. Your fitness level, compared to just regular humans, would be through the roof. So the fitness level that you get assigned on Beyond the Whiteboard is relative to this amazing, wonderful, unique group of lunatics who take fitness extraordinarily seriously. That's where you shake out on there. And, again, we all know this, don't worry about, you just want to see your fitness level moving in the right direction. Somebody might have a higher fitness level than you or a different one. That's okay. They're on their journey, you're on your journey, and your goal is just to move yours in the right direction. But if you haven't explored that fitness level, it's pretty darn cool. And like I said, there are 8 different things to unlock the fitness level, and you can tap on any of those. Tap on power lifts. You can put in your numbers there. Tap on body weight workouts, heavy workouts, light workouts. And you can scroll through a ton of options to go ahead and log some scores on there and have some fun with it. So that's it. And how crazy is that? That a 375-pound back squat would put you in about the 85th percentile. And then if you wanted to be in the 85th percentile in a 2-mile run, you better be out there running a 13-minute and 30-second 2-mile run. And as crazy as CrossFitters are, and as in love with the barbell as they are and how much they despise running and track days, most people would do Linchpin Test 5, and 99 would be like, oh, those back squats were tough. I had to squat more. But then if we looked at their run, it most likely was nowhere near the time that I just mentioned. But no one's going to be like, whew, I really should go to the track a lot more and just pour my heart into the track. Just got to get that running up. It's very interesting. Nobody says that. All the love goes one way and not the other. So don't let the love go one way. our goal, again, is to increase your body weight movements, your engine work, and your weightlifting all at once. All of us need help in all of those areas. So don't let your vision become jaded to just any one particular. So I hope you enjoyed Linchpin Test 5. It kicked me in the teeth, but that's okay. It's good stuff. And if you're unfamiliar with them, there's, like I said, 13 tests now, and you can find them all either on Beyond the Whiteboard, or if you go to CrossFitLinchpin.com, click on the tests, you can check them all out there. So that's it. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and we will talk later.